Ooh, what's going on, YouTube? Is Donnie B all day. So, my brother Scab, ChoirBoyz with a Z, ChoirBoyz, one word, Cutlery. My brother Scab asked everybody to go out today, Thursday, and do a video promoting awareness of military suicides. And there's a number out there that's it's a per day type number that I'm not happy with. You know, being a vet, being a combat vet, I have friends, my brothers, my actual military brothers, who have taken themselves out of the game. Right? They just couldn't handle what was seen, what was done, and all the things that only veterans we really know about. We can speak on, right? So I don't mention the number because I don't like it. It's too many. Any's too many, especially when you have literally gone to battle with these people. So rather than doing that, and you can go over to Scab's channel and you can see the cause that he fights for, which I'll support all day long. I just won't say it. But go over to Scab's channel, go to ChoirBoyz Cutlery, and you will see what I'm talking about. But because I can't say it, because I don't want to, I don't like to, I'm going to show you something different that's going to let you know why it's important. This is my neighbor. If you can't read it, it says Massachusetts Veterans Memorial Cemetery. The greatest heroes in the world, some of them, are buried right here. Some of them were taken out in battle. Some of them, like my grandfather, who you're going to see, lived to a nice, ripe old age. Some of them, they couldn't take it, and they're here on their own. Now, these stones, you're going to see a whole lot of them. And you got to remember that not all were taken out in battle. Not all were taken out by themselves. Many lived a very, very long and great life. So when you see the astounding number of stones, remember, these stones are of people who go as far back as World War I do believe. I know World War II for certain because my family is here. Now, I'm going to see if I can't point. Way back there is still stones. When you have your ceremonies, it's here. This flagpole right here, I get to watch wave from my backyard. I get to hear the iron rings slam against the pole, and it's great. I love it. I love hearing it every single day. What I don't love hearing every single day is right over here, when they do a funeral, is where the soldiers come out and they fire the guns in the air. That's where your gun salute comes from. I love hearing the guns, but I hate hearing why. Even though I know we all go at some point, I still hate it. Up on the hill, I don't know if you could see it, but right there, you will see the flags. Stones go from there in perfect order as we stand, how we stand in formation, all the same, unified, right? All one together. Man, right there, the beautiful flag. My house is right there through those trees. So this is what I get to see every single day, right? We're going to come over here and give you guys a little tour. Department of the Army. That's me right there. That's my boys. My Marine brothers. My Navy brothers, Cowboy Sebop. My Air Force brothers, Derek Pontier. the Coast Guard, my Coast Guard brothers. And they need to add one for the Space Force, because I don't care what people say. If people want to talk all the smack they want, I'll give them a smack in the mouth on that one. Space Force is a U.S. military branch. So if you don't respect it, you don't respect the rest of us, and I don't respect you. So, and that's just me being as blunt as possible. Right here it says Massachusetts Veterans Memorial Cemetery, Agawam, Massachusetts. Dedication in May 2001, 2001. And I'll even give you an up close. If you want to press pause, give yourself the ability to read that. Every year, come here and we put wreaths down on the stones. Not just of anyone we know, but any stone, all the stones. Now, you're looking at it and you're going to say, wow, it's a small cemetery for veterans, right? Because you're looking at all these. I mean, these are hundreds of stones right here. Hundreds. It doesn't look like it because they're all the same size, small. It's not like a regular cemetery. But what you don't see is way up on that hill and way beyond there. It goes all the way to those flags we saw. Just more stones, more veterans, more of my brothers, more of my kin, right? So I'll take you up the hill. We'll see if we can't track down old Tommy Sullivan. Tommy Sullivan was a guy I knew growing up. He was a Marine, and he was caught in the shooting down south at the recruiting office. He was one of the Marines killed. He made it out, then he went back in for a buddy, and he didn't come back out a second time. So he is right up there. We did a motorcycle run for him, and we all were out there for a salute. This one is a fallen brother. A fallen sister, I apologize. Catherine E. Cody. This is actually the wife of a U.S. Navy soldier, Joseph E. Cody. And as you know, wives serve too, man. They serve in their own way. It should never, ever be discredited. So she is put here with her husband. They're laid to rest together for eternity. Ma'am. So I'm going to show you probably, well, not probably. I'm going to show you the most important one to me. And first I'm going to set it up. So right here, you're looking at my hero. Now there's a red line there, and that's because I just put that there. I don't like to put, the last name out there, but that's my name aside from the middle initial. My middle initial is R. But this right here is the original Donnie B. All Day. This is my grandfather. You will notice he was a tech sergeant. He was an E6 in the Army. He fought World War II. You can see these dates, but what's most important about these dates is what you see underneath. Silver Star, Bronze Star, Purple Heart. This guy, and here's some crazy things that are absolutely true. Hold on a second. I had to flip it around here. I think I just turned it off in the middle of talking to you guys. I turned it off. So I'm going to tell you a little something, Gramps, about that guy right there. About that guy. About the guy with my name on it. And this is actually how I found my house. My house is right there. I came to visit this stone one day, and I was looking at this house, and I said, man, that house is awesome. I want to check that out. I went over. It was for sale. We bought it. So here's the deal. As we walk through all these beautiful names, all these beautiful people, all these heroes, understand that. My grandfather, his friends, one day we were at the house. Another one taken too soon, no matter how late in life. Still too soon, always too soon. But his old military buddies were at the house. Now my grandfather was a lot like me. He was a pretty funny guy. Not saying that I'm a funny guy, but I'm a pretty funny guy. My grandfather was always just a crack up. When we were kids, just young kids, my grandfather was the guy who every single Christmas and birthday would get us the birthday cards with, some girl with big boobs and something funny. Look how beautiful that is, man. It's just perfection. Perfection. perfection for heroes. And it's just the kind of person he was. He was always funny, man. Just a devout, forever and ever Red Sox fan. You know what I mean? That's who took me to my first ever Red Sox game. We showed up with a cooler and some ham and pickle sandwiches. And we listened to or watched some Red Sox games. And that was life, man. That was just life. So, being a funny guy, and he never talked about military service and this and that, you know, we had no idea that he'd done anything or like was a big, you know, whatever. He was no military hero. He was just Gramps. So these guys come to the house one day. It was actually after he'd passed, and they were all there, and they start talking about my grandfather, telling stories, and they said, "Man, your grandfather is who they modeled Rambo after," and they're saying all this stuff, and we're looking at them like, "You guys are out of your head." My grandfather was a comic. You know what I mean? He was just a goof. And so then they broke out the newspaper clippings. And I started reading things that's printed stuff that happened that I had no idea how he got these Purple Hearts, right? Because he had way more than one. And then they broke out the shadow box with the medals in it. And I said, holy crap, there's something to these stories. When they said that my grandfather was the one they modeled Rambo off of, they almost weren't kidding. He got shot point blank in the back by a tank, a German tank. When rounds were low, what they did is they would load shrapnel inside these tank barrels and shoot people with they'd send out just steel, pieces of iron, hunks of whatever they can find. My grandfather got shot in the back. This was before protective vests and things like that. Body armor. There's no body armor. He gets hit in the back, gets up, brushes himself off, kept on going. A Nazi soldier had an American soldier pinned dead to rights, boop, right on the ground, getting ready to take a shot. And I read this article that explained how my grandfather, that guy right down there, the original Donnie B. All Day, dives onto the soldier as the German takes his shot. My grandfather takes the shot in his back and on his side, turns with his 1911, puts one right up inside that German's jaw and takes him out, right? Crazy. And it sounds nutty, but it's true. It's actually true. And there was another one where I began reading. I opened up my eyes and I said, you got to be kidding me. Where my grandfather stormed an entire German platoon and took them all as captives, war captives. All he had on him was his 1911, his 45 caliber handgun. He by himself took entire German platoon hostage. Imagine that. The guy was an absolute ripper. He was awesome. He was a badass. And he's who I owe it all to. I mean, joining the Army was, got to be like Gramps. And for me to be a badass, I knew where I had to go. I had to go to that level. I had to reach, his name. I had to carry it on. So that's why I didn't slow down. I didn't hold back. That's why I did stuff that other people just wouldn't do. Like even stupid stuff like I went into the middle of a minefield after somebody explained to me that it was a minefield because they took rocks and they painted them white whenever they found a landmine. They didn't find them all, but whatever ones they found, they would mark. So I said, I never took a picture with a landmine, so I walked out into this minefield where all of them had not yet been found. I squat next to this rock and I take a picture of it. I posted it, as a matter of fact. And so I got yelled at for that one, of course. But it's okay because yelling only takes a couple seconds. The memory lasts forever. And it's just, I did a lot of crazy stuff, and there's a lot of things that, people just don't talk about. And it all happened because I had a name to live up to, right? The crazy, funny, nutty, willing to die for my country, just like all these guys, you know, attitude. That's who I was. I was that guy by birth. Man, so it's hard for me. You know, I'm walking around here and it feels like I'm out of breath, but I'm not out of breath. I'm just, man, it's like I'm out of collection. You know what I mean? It's hard to collect yourself when you are walking amongst some of the greatest people who have ever lived. And I know this because my grandfather was an insane, straight up badass. And there are a whole lot of badasses right here. I mean, you might not see all the medals listed down there, and maybe they didn't do the same thing. Maybe some guy did 2 years and he got out and never saw anything beyond, you know, a cubicle in the Army or the Navy or wherever he was. And maybe that's all that happened. But just because they didn't have the chance to do something miraculous doesn't mean they didn't do something spectacular. Every single person here signed their name on a dotted line saying, I was willing to die for my country, for strangers, for half the country who hates me, just for signing, just for doing that. That's all. We are hated just for being willing. That's it. And even though those people disrespect us the way they do, it doesn't stop us from doing what we do. And, you know, there's a lot of people on here that I have a lot of respect for. And I was just talking about Scab, and Scab does a lot for the veterans. He does a lot. He never served, and he says it all the time. He says, I never served. I don't ever claim to. And Scab is 100% honest man. The guy is a great guy. And he stands by us just thick and freaking thin. And I was looking for my buddy's stone, but since, and this is what kills me, is since he's been put here, Tommy Sullivan, there have been a lot more added, and it's much harder to find. And I know he's in this section, but when all the stones are the same and they are in perfect working order, Korean War vet, you know, it makes it difficult to find them. So I might not be able to find Tommy's because it's getting late, and I don't want to make this video 6 years long, but I really wanted to show you guys my hero neighbors. And while Scab is doing something that I can't mimic, I figured I would do something that honestly nobody has to mimic. You know what I mean? I figure coming here, you guys are going to get a full understanding of where I'm coming from and what I mean. And this is no joke. Every stone represents a fallen brother. All right? Every stone. This is just one cemetery, one veteran cemetery. That's it, just one. There are many veteran cemeteries. And the sad part is there are many brand new ones just like this right here. And here's what's worse is that they will never stop. They will never stop adding to this cemetery. All that green grass right there is going to look like this very soon. Very soon, you know, because all the soldiers who have fought are going to die eventually, you know, me, everybody else. All that area right over there, that big area over there is going to be filled. These are the flags I was showing you from down below. This is what those flags stand at. And this is where I'm probably going to end it, because I think I've had you guys on here for a very long time, and there's only a couple who may have actually stayed with me. But for those who don't get put in the ground, see all these names? Do you see how many there are? They just keep on going. They just keep on going. And when you think that, oh, there's the end of the wall, well, guess what? There's another wall. They just keep on going. So when you're thinking about it, you got to think about how real it is. This is as real as it gets. This is as real as it gets. Right here. Harold is here. Is here. He was World War II. He is here. World War II and Korea. This guy went through 2 different wars. Right? He is here. And so is everyone with him. And you can see all the World War II guys. Now, I'm not sure if there's any World War I guys. I haven't seen them yet. But I'm almost guaranteeing that there are, because 2001 there were still World War I soldiers alive. So here's another wall that goes beyond that. Here's all our great military flags. Up here are the bells. And when the bells chime, it's, you know, it's not always for a great reason. But there we go. My house is right there. And these are my neighbors. This is what I live next to. This is what I wake up to. This is what I go to bed to every single day. And so in response to Scab's video, to Scab's call out, I guess this is my response. Never, ever forget what you see here. This is real. These are soldiers. These are my brothers and sisters. No matter how old, no matter how young, these are my brothers and sisters, right? So I need people to understand that when you pass a veteran cemetery, even if you've never served, don't be afraid to put your hand up. You know, let them know that you know, because every single one of these guys right here, every single one of these guys and girls, every single one deserves your love, deserves your respect. You know, from the original Donnie B all day to this ugly dude right here. You know, we put our name on a document that says, I am willing to die for my country. I swear an oath to my Constitution. We don't swear to our president. Understand that. When you put your right hand up in the military, you do not swear to defend your president. You swear to your Constitution, which means if your president is doing something that needs a good overthrowing, you swear to be that overthrower. And there have been times in the last few months, maybe, that many of us say that could be a call for, right? And I'll tell you what, if it goes down, it's going down because of all these guys right here, because they swore the same thing. And for every one of these people right here who can't stand up and fight, I will fight twice as hard for them. That's my pledge. That's my pledge to all of you. All of you. For any day from this day till my last that a fight is needed, I swear that I will fight harder than I'm allowed to fight. Harder than I'm born to fight. Just because I need to fight for one of them, I'm going to put one of these guys on my back and I'm going to carry them through. I swear to God on that. So, Scab, thank you, my absolute brother. Love you tons, man. This is our reality. This is our reality right here. We all end up someplace. I'm going to end up in a place just like this. And I will be proud to own a stone just like these. That's it for me, man. I'm calling it time to go. I am Donnie B all day. Till next video.